Hey everybody, welcome back to another live stream. Before we get into the show, which will begin in a moment, I wanted to let you know that if you have any questions throughout the stream, remember you can always ask them on our website. We have a live chat support ready and able to help you. My team there is available if you have any questions about any of our products, services, or just have a question for fun. Check it out. Link will be down below in the description.
The stream will be starting shortly, but while you wait, you can check out our sponsors 8cap, Forex Tester, and Superfunded. You can find the links to them down in the description below.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another live stream. Before we get into the show, which will begin in a moment, I wanted to let you know that if you have any questions throughout the stream, remember you can always ask them on our website. We have a live chat support ready and able to help you. My team there is available if you have any questions about any of our products, services, or just have a question for fun. Check it out. Link will be down below in the description.
Coming to you live from our studio in Atlanta, Georgia, this is the A1 Trading Daily Show. Whether markets are rising or falling, we're here to keep you up to date with the latest market news. Join us as we trade currencies, commodities, and indices live, Monday through Friday.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday, and welcome back to another live stream. Excited to be here and ready to jump into the markets with Nick here in just a minute. But before we do that, of course, we're going to check out the market heat map here in the Edge Finder, just kind of see how some of our assets are trending so far today. Going to take a look at our biggest movers to the upside and the downside so far today. But I noticed this up top here, looking at the US indices, I can see the US 30, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ 100 are major US indices right there, all in the red today. The NASDAQ 100 down 1.76% on the day so far, S&P 500 down 1.45%, and the US 30 still down 1% there. So US indices not performing very well. On the other hand, gold is actually our biggest mover to the upside so far today out of all of our assets. Gold up 1.83% on the day, followed by NZDUSD, Aussie USD, NZD CAD, AUD CAD, and GBP USD. So a nice little mixture of currency pairs up there. Let's look at the downside. Look at the bottom down here. USDJPY, CAD JPY, Euro JPY, GBP JPY, USDCHF. So yen crosses seem to be selling off on the day so far. USDJPY being our biggest mover to the downside, down 1.75% on the day. All right. I want to thank our three amazing sponsors, 8cap, Forex Tester, and Superfunded, for sponsoring today's live stream. This would not be possible without their support. They are three amazing companies. We are happy to be sponsored by them. You can find out more about those three down in the links in the description below. But let's go ahead and hop into the markets here with Nick. Here we go.
All right, and thank you, James, for that introduction. Yes, a crazy start to the week, that's for sure. With the dollar kind of all over the place, you've got gold jumping big time. And one thing I know a lot of Forex traders may not pay attention to this, but it has a lot to do with the dollar. Check out the US 2 year absolutely selling off of a clip. Now, this is the 2 year US government bonds yield, and you can see that it dramatically dropped from a 5% all the way down to a 4.1%. And of course, bonds are not something that most Forex traders pay attention to, but they're one of the most important markets to consider in your analysis, as it is pretty much, fixed income, the money market. It's a really important market to pay attention to. And what we can see here is that, again, bond yields have dramatically dropped. And with that, we've seen the dollar kind of take a big hit. Now, despite that, though, I still think that there's some bullishness for the dollar. I'm going into this week looking for a few setups myself, which we'll be going over in this live stream. Real quick, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you being here. We've been working really hard on the stream just to up the quality, and shout out to the guys behind the scenes like James and Chandler, who have really put in a lot of work to make these streams what they are. So thank you all for joining us here, and we're happy that you are here. So let's do some analysis. Let's start with the dollar. From a technical analysis perspective, the US dollar to me still looks healthy, but on the fringes. It's sort of meeting there's a crossroads sort of occurring here, where you've got the dollar rallying very, very sharply from low to high, right? And now pulling back dramatically, now even finding the 38.2% retracement in focus, which lines up nicely with the key level of previous resistance, which could potentially act as support going forward. So my thought process on the dollar here is, as we test this area, we should see a response pretty quickly. And if we don't, probably going to bail on that idea pretty quick after a break of the lows, if that occurs, and wait until there's some sort of deeper retracement, perhaps at the 61.8% retracement, prior to looking to get long on the dollar again. So this is my take on it. Now, this is a heavy week in terms of news, as we had last week. The party continues, if you will, with our Forex factory showing us that we've got CPI numbers coming out on Tuesday. So tomorrow we have US CPI numbers. This is going to be, of course, a huge indicator for markets as they pay attention to the inflation statistics that come out. Now, on tomorrow's numbers, we also get GBP claimant count change. This, of course, is unemployment in the UK, which, of course, will cause some volatility to the pound. So if you're a GBP trader, if you trade pound dollar, pound yen, etc., pay very close attention to this as we go into tomorrow's action. Claimant count change will likely cause a lot of volatility. Now, of course, following that, even more volatility likely is to come from the CPI numbers. Now, there's CPI year over year, month over month, and core CPI month over month, which all of these are important statistics. The market will likely be very focused on this core CPI number, as well as really all three, as well as this regular CPI number. Core CPI, it basically takes out some of the exceptional volatile components to inflation, like, for example, food and energy. So something to think about there. But we get those numbers tomorrow. Despite that, before the markets get going into that news, we see the dollar selling off pretty big. So market's a bit hesitant coming into this. Now, I think that prior to the news, this is just my take on it, I think prior to the news, you probably get some bounce off the dollar as maybe shorts take profits, or perhaps, just a bit of a sort of normalization before the news. This is what we often see. Usually what we often see in markets is that if you have, let's say, news is, this is news, right? Let's imagine we're on a timeline. If news is coming and we have a big move down, we usually see some sort of retracement leading up to the news. And then after the news, you may get a massive spike up, you might get a massive spike down. Point is, though, oftentimes you get this sort of move. And despite CPI numbers not being something I know ahead of time, I'm still bullish on the dollar until something changes. Perhaps CPI changes my outlook on the dollar. But for now, I think that there may be a little bit of support in this area that we could potentially watch closely. Here's a 1 hour view of the dollar, and you can see a candle forming here that looks kind of interesting. You've got the 103.89 level currently being tested, and we'll watch to see how that goes. Of course, gold was a big one that James mentioned. Let's take a quick look at XAU USD and see what's going on the price action chart here this morning. And you can see, look at this. the gold market just going parabolic here and really breaking through key levels of resistance that were pretty surprising to bears and to myself included. I thought we would see some more response. Did not get it. I don't have any trades on with gold or anything like that, but I was very, very surprised that we just blew through resistance like this. Usually you would expect some response to a level like this, but we got nothing. Price just broke right through and now is screaming to the upside. And so you have to ask yourself, is this something I want to buy? Do I want to be buying gold as it rallies up like this? And I think a lot of traders, they make mistakes on both ends. They either force a trade right here and they buy it, right? They chase a trade, or they try and short this thing. And I think really up in this area, this is a trading area where there's nothing to do here. So let me clarify what I mean by that. If you caught the long trade, whether you traded a breakout on the lower time frames or something like that. If you're in a long trade, then great. You've got a position here where you can kind of just trail stops and let this winner run. If you're trying to be short here, you're going to be trying to basically jump in front of a moving train. That's very difficult to do. And if you're trying to go long here, you're chasing. So, in my opinion, the only trade that was available on this chart was something before the big move like this. Uh, so, if you have a trade on, awesome. You probably, if you're long on this thing, then great. You might be rejoicing, making good money, that sort of thing. But there's nothing to do up here. So, what am I getting at? Well, if you're wanting to be long, my opinion would be wait for some sort of retracement, wait for something to come back into play after this big run. So I'm not going to be chasing the move up here. I'm going to say if this market gives us a pullback, right, retraces that big move, then perhaps there's something to be said for a buy, maybe at the 50% retracement, etc. And again, continuing to monitor because the top might not be in, right? This is one of the scenarios, guys, where oftentimes retail traders, I'll show you guys some data that might be interesting to you. Um, Oftentimes, retail traders, when a market gets moving like this, the first thing they want to do is they want to go against the move. And I'll show you that. I haven't even looked at this, but I'm just assuming here. We'll see if my assumption is correct that retail traders are shorting gold right now. And there it is. So retail traders are piled into a 78% long, short ratio compared to a only 22% on the long side. So retail traders are piling in to a short trade on this thing. And that is pretty incredible to think about if you're looking at this and you say, okay, wow, this chart is absolutely going parabolic. The trap, I think, often in these moves is that traders try and sell this thing. They try and sell it as it's going up, thinking, "Oh, well, the top has got to be in. It's gonna continue back the other direction soon." But this thing can go a lot longer than people may expect. And if you're in a long trade, like I said, congrats. That's awesome because gold very well could rally all the way up to like 1960. We've broken the 1900 mark. That's a huge level for the bulls. So we'll see if that persists. But just a lesson to think about. This data, by the way, guys, if you would like access to this, this is available. We have a free version of the Edge Finder that you can get access to. We're going to drop a link to that in the chat if you would like to try out our data. Again, this is the Edge Finder. It's our market scanning software that my team has built, and we have a free version available. If you'd like to play with retail sentiment data, you can see what their positions are looking like. 100% for free. All you got to do is grab access to that data with the link that just got dropped in the chat. So yeah, look at that. Gold just keeps going. 1908 now printing here on the screen and flying high. Dollar might be under more pressure here. Well, dollar holding its own. I think this is really a gold move because if we look at something like, for example, the euro also making a serious move up, but not nearly the gas on it that gold has right now. Speaking of euro, you can see, so I am short biased on the euro right now. And if you look at this thing, where we currently sit, we're sitting at a key level of resistance. Like we are very much stuck in a resistance point as we speak. Now, whether or not this resistance holds, that's up in the air. We'll see if that becomes the case. I think that if the euro can stay underneath this previous top for the day or so, we should see price continue to decline. However, again, a lot of this weighs heavily on CPI tomorrow. So here's a daily chart view on the euro. So you can see we had a really substantial move to the downside and have since kind of entered into some consolidation. But with this price recently poking up into resistance like this, I decided it's probably worth for me an attempt to get short. We'll see if that plays out well for me or not. So yeah, euro. In terms of targets, I think that the euro, especially, it depends very heavily on this inflation number, guys. Tomorrow, the context is so key for this inflation because the Federal Reserve is trying to make up their decision, and they will make up their decision as to whether or not they want to raise interest rates by 25 basis points or by 50 basis points. And that distinction will cause a lot of volatility in the financial markets. And so the euro is, it's hanging in the balance kind of thing on based on what the Fed decides to do. If the Federal Reserve decides to go for a 50 basis point rate hike, it is very likely that the euro will continue its downward trend. And so that's what I'm kind of betting on, if you will. Of course, with risk management in check and all that sort of good stuff. But my thought process is a move back down to the previous lows, and perhaps even beyond that is possible going into the coming weeks. We'll see if I can catch a move there. So I like euro on the short side. Let's take a look now at dollar yen. So dollar yen totally fell through the floor. I was stopped out of my trade on this one and have completely. I haven't touched it since, but this thing just fell through, hit my stop loss, and then just kept going. So crazy to see how sell heavy this dollar yen. I mean, this upward trend just completely fell apart. It's one of those things like when the trend really truly ends, oftentimes it can just turn into a bloodbath. And in this case, you can see a serious level of support completely getting broken on the downside. And this sort of upward trend that we had going on for now looks compromised. Now, it could come back into play. For example, if we get some sort of bounce and then we get a higher low and then we get a high, that's a different story. But currently where we sit, it's not looking so pretty for the dollar yen. Unless we get some sort of big wick to the upside here today, the dollar yen looks really, really unstable for now, at least that upward trend that we were watching. So let's take a quick look at the indices. I have some people in the chat asking about the Dow Jones, the S&P 500. Let's take a quick look. And man, again, another market under a lot of pressure here today with the market just breaking through this level of support that we had marked. You can see a massive sell-off there. Really, really, really a hard sell coming into this market as the day gets going. And so if I'm looking at this thing, it's got to be sort of a sell bias for the time being. Again, you had this sort of upward trend, price completely failed out. Am I shorting it? No, I don't really personally like to short the market. I think that it is one of the hardest trades in the book is to try and short the S&P 500. So, historically this thing goes up. So if if your strategy was to find shorts, it's very hard to find shorts in a market that long term goes up, right? So for me, I personally don't like to short the stock market. However, I might look to do other trades that capitalize off of risk off, etc. Anyways, the S&P 500 broke clean through a level of support. Let me see if I can draw out my zone a little bit cleaner here. So you can actually see what happened here on the lower time frames. So we're now looking at the 4-hour chart. Lower time frames, price came down, retested the zone, sold off, retested again, sold off harder into today's price action. So for indices traders out there, this is one to watch. I mean, if price were to retest, if you were to get a retracement, perhaps that zone could be of interest yet again. But currently, again, similar story to gold. It's too extended to really buy, too extended to really sell. I'm waiting for some sort of pullback before making any sort of strict decision. Now, guys, we're going to take a moment's break to hear from one of our sponsors here. These streams are made possible because we have financial support from our sponsors. So let's take one moment to hear from James about a sponsor today. Check it out.
That's right. Real quick, I want to remind you guys that today's stream is sponsored by 8cap. And 8cap is an award-winning regulated broker that gives traders a better trading experience. If you choose to trade with 8cap, you'll be able to trade CFDs like gold, Forex pairs, cryptos, indices, and more. Additionally, their spreads are razor thin. They offer up to a 500-to-1 leverage, and their customer support is top-notch. One very cool feature is that they've recently partnered up with TradingView.com, meaning you can do all of your trading directly through 8cap on TradingView. So if you're a fan of the channel, 8cap has partnered up to offer the A1 trading community a free copy of the Edge Finder. Yes, you heard that right, a free copy of the Edge Finder. And all you have to do to get your free copy of the Edge Finder is sign up with 8cap and deposit $1,000 or more into your trading account. So click the link in the description to find out more. 8cap is the best in the business, and that's why we are proud to be sponsored by them. Click the link in the description to sign up now. And because it's Monday, our first stream of the week, we're sponsored by 8cap. So happy to be sponsored by 8cap. I thought it would be fun to do the 8cap Magic 8 Ball. Now, this is, of course, not real financial advice, but let's see if we can get some good news going into another trading week. And this says, check a risk calculator. So that may not be the best news, but that's okay. Happy to be sponsored by 8cap. Go check them out. Link in the description. You can get a free Edge Finder when you open up an account with them and deposit $1,000 or more. Now, Nick, back to you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, James, for that one. And yes, 8cap, link is in the description. There's a full landing page that they were kind enough to put together for us. If you guys are interested in hearing about that Edge Finder free copy, I know a lot of you guys had questions about that recently. If that is something that you are interested in, make sure to click the landing page link that's in the description of this live stream. So yes, S&P 500, like I said, really a tough spot here for the bulls as price continues to put in new lows. Despite sort of trying to get these bounces going, it continues to plummet through the lows. Again, let's go double check on that gold chart here. Question will be, can we actually find some sort of top here? Is 1909 going to be our top for the day? Or is this thing going to continue to blow through the highs? We'll have to watch it and see. Like I said, even if you are bullish on gold, my take on this would be, if I'm gonna ever buy gold here, it's got to be on a retest. It can't be up here, because up here I'm chasing nothing but the hype, right? So I am waiting, if anything, would be gold on a pullback, which is a ways away. So most of the trade, like I said, it's a bit frustrating for some traders, but the reality is, likely this trade has probably left the station for most people, right? Most people now are either going to be chasing it and possibly getting stuck in a bad trade, or they're trying to short something that is very, very strong. And even if there's a minor retracement, it might blow through the highs again and stop out people. So you got to be very, very careful with moves like this. Everyone gets their eyes on these sort of moves and they say, oh my gosh, what's gold going to do next? And it's very easy to get caught up in some troublesome positions. Let's take a look now at the pound, see what's going on with pound USD this morning. And you can see pound USD back up at resistance. My thought process on this zone should hold as a sell point. We'll see if I'm correct about that idea. But basically, the pound USD is in trouble. And I would say, let me back that up with some analysis here on the Edge Finder. And again, remember, as James pointed out, the Edge Finder is available for free for people who are signing up with 8cap using our link in the description. Again, they are a stream sponsor. They help us make this stuff possible. So if you would like more information about that, make sure to click the link in the description and you can potentially get access to our software completely for free. So if you would also like to just check out the free version of the Edge Finder, there's also a link that has just been dropped in the chat for you if you want to just check it out for yourself. And in a second, I'll show you how you can also request a full free trial. But bear with me. Pound USD, so strong sell overall. And one of the key areas I want to show you guys here when it comes to the data here is we have a lot of economic figures favoring the dollar over the pound. Let me go over that with you guys. So price rallying a bit on the pound dollar GU, right? So let's see if that's a sell. GDP growth, the US is favored. Inflation, the US is favored. Unemployment, the US is favored, as we have lower unemployment here in the States. And then, of course, interest rates higher in the US, making the dollar more quote unquote attractive. So economic figures that we pay attention to point towards bullishness on the dollar and bearishness on the pound. Not only that, guys, if we take a look at the latest COT data, and we did get some new data, it's not absolutely up to speed, but it's much more recent. 65% of institutional money is long the dollar, whereas 60% just about is short the pound. Now, not only this, take a look and you can see you can combine these two things together, and you can add seasonality. And I'll show you guys the seasonality chart. The full thing might be useful to some of you guys. If you pay attention to seasonality, it's a very cool indicator. It's basically just using historical data to our advantage. So if we take a look at seasonality, right? Seasonality is showing us month-to-month performance of an asset over the last 10-year average. And we can see that in the month of March, we get a historically declining month for the pound. We're only 13 days into March, so there's time here for this to continue to play out. So my take on this is that the probabilities that we pay attention to favor pound dollar short side. Now, of course, that's not a guarantee. That's probabilities, and this is what trading is all about. So, if we sign up as the free version or the full Edge Finder that we'll receive. So you get access to, John, good question. It's not the free version. So when you sign up with the 8cap partnership that we have in the description, you get access to the Edge Finder basic for 100% for free. So you get access to so it's all you got to do is set up an account with 8cap, start trading with them. It's available, it is unfortunately unavailable to people in the United States, only to people outside of the US. We have strict regulations here in the US that don't allow us to trade with offshore brokers at all. Now, 8cap, I should say, is also it's regulated by the US. I'm sorry, by the by ASIC, so ASIC. So you know, they're pretty dang legit. Anyways, again, this pound USD move, as it touches into resistance, that's where things get kind of interesting, because now not only do we have the Edge Finder giving us a bias to the short side, but we have the charts showing up with a key level of resistance here. So my take on this, again, I weigh the odds here and I make a probability-based decision. It's not a certainty. This is not a magical indicator that's going to tell us what to do with our money, right? It's just giving us insights that we can make better decisions on. Let me show you guys one more thing. If you want access to this software, a lot of you guys may not be available to trade with 8cap, but you want access to the software. Let me show you something real quick. There's a little cheat code. If you want to jump to the front of the line and get a free trial to the Edge Finder, head over to our website, a1trading.com. And if you guys in the producer side, if you guys don't mind just dropping a link in the chat for this as well, a1trading.com, in the bottom right, there's a chat box. Click this chat box, and right now you can chat with a representative. And if you just type in free trial, one of our support reps who is in the office right now with us, we have a studio here in Atlanta. If you want to try the software, again, chat with us. We are ready to help. Just hit this little chat icon in the bottom right and type the words free trial, and someone from my team will take care of you and get you set up with a trial of our software. The trial will be the full version, so you can try out all the features, all the cool stuff, and see if it's something that would be interesting to you. We don't take any, it's not a free trial with any credit cards or anything like that. There's no obligation. You just get to check out the software. So click that in the bottom right and check it out. Hopefully it's a software tool that is helpful to you. It's been an incredible journey building this stuff, and I'm excited to get more people using it. So there you go. Look at the DAX index. Yeah, what's the DAX doing? Let's go German 30, see what's going on. Ooh, look at this big sell-off there. And again, nothing too different than the other indices right now. You've got JP225 probably selling off. Yep, there it goes. You've got US 30 selling off. You know, it's a bloodbath here for the indices here today. And again, a lot of it due to the fact that you had that big scare with the banks dropping out of the skies, right? And the bank run scares that are going on right now. There's a bit of fear on the markets for sure. It continues to be a risk-off year. So far, I mean, you had sort of a bounce go on in the earlier parts of this year, but so far, still a lot of fear in this market. Now, again, kind of an interesting one because the dollar here, watching the dollar has been very, very interesting. The dollar and the S&P 500 have actually had some positive correlation recently, which is very weird and unusual. Usually, often enough, you see the dollar rise, the S&P fall, the dollar fall, the S&P rise. You tend to see some sort of inverse correlation. Not the case right now. So we'll have to watch that closely and continue to monitor that. Now, again, like I said, I'm currently looking for Euro USD shorts in this zone. As long as we don't break through the highs, I will continue to be short. My thought process is looking for a continuation back down to the lows. That's the idea I'm working with currently. So we'll see if that one can play out. I shorted Aussie NZD and it's going well, but I don't know if I should close it right now or leave it. Can you take a look? Let me just say this real quick, Ali, and anyone else who wonders sometimes, should I keep my trade open? Should I close my trade? I'm not going to shame you, Ali, but I'm gonna give you some hard advice. If you come onto like a live stream and you're asking, what should I do with my trade? There's a big problem because when it comes to trading, you should, before ever executing a trade on your account, you should already know what you're going to do and why. There should be no guesswork involved, right? Trading without any sort of plan, where beforehand you don't have a strict rule set that you're going to do in different scenarios, is more like gambling. And I'm not trying to insult you or anything. I'm trying to give you a fair warning that you have to be very, very careful in this stuff. If you don't have a trading plan, if you don't have a reasoning for why you entered, for where to exit, how to know you're right, how to know you're wrong, if you don't have these answers pre-created, it's going to be a tough time in trading because you're going to be constantly second guessing yourself. You're going to be basically doing more of the gambling stuff than actually just trading a strict plan. Trade your plan, plan your trade. Those are the age old words to traders that are so, so true. Trade your plan, plan your trade, plan your trade, trade your plan. You hear it both ways. But the point is, right? You've got to create your plan before. So I can't give you what you should do on a trade, right? First of all, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your money. I'm here sharing my analysis and my opinions. But not only that, on top of that, you should just have a plan yourself, because again, if you don't, you're doing guesswork and that's dangerous stuff. Currently, I'll give you my take on the Australian NZD. This market looks very bearish, continues to be bearish. And in my take on this one, if I'm looking at the 4-hour chart, I would expect this thing to continue lower. Now, it might not go immediately lower, but you've got enough signs on this chart, in my opinion, that currently the consensus is a sell bias, right? So you can see a beautiful retest of this area. This is a 4-hour chart. Price stumbled on this one before ultimately rolling over and breaking through the lows. So my take on that is, we've seen a lower low, lower high. We may see some retests, but in the meantime, continuing to be short bias. The only thing that would really break the short trend, in my opinion, would be a break above this high. That would be how I'd be viewing this chart. If price breaks out, yeah, that's end of the trend kind of thing, based on how I would view this chart, as I predominantly do my analysis on the 4-hour and 1-hour charts. So Aussie NZD looks very good to the sell side. So Nick, what about bullish USD? I've talked about it pretty regularly throughout the stream today. Like I've said, the dollar sitting at a level of support. We'll see if this level can hold. I'm currently short bias on the euro dollar and seeing if I can catch some sort of dollar bullish move. This thing, I think, has sold off really heavily and should see some sort of normalization before the news. Now, again, I could be completely wrong about that. If it takes out the lows, I'm out. Right, I'm completely just going to cut the trade that I have on, and we'll call it a day on that. But if it can rally from here, hey, we might be able to catch something. U.S. oil, yeah, let's take a quick look. What's going on with the oil market? Well, it had a sell-off, like a big sell-off move, but continues to sort of just be range bound. If you're watching the oil market has not really gone a whole far distance in the last few weeks. You can see just kind of holding support, holding resistance on both sides, and not really trending either way really strong. So my take on this one is pretty muted. I don't really have anything to say other than it seems like we hit a support level and it's reacting so far. We'll see if it goes back up to the previous high, etc., and if we continue to stay range bound. GJ, yeah, let's take a quick look at the pound yen and see what's going on here. So pound yen, let me go look at the software and see if do we have anything on pound yen? Minor pairs. We're going to scroll down to where it says pound yen. Let's see. So completely neutral on pound yen. We get a score of 0, which means that we have a lot of conflicting data. We have a lot of indicators pointing bullish and a lot of indicators pointing bearish, which leaves me with the idea of no trade. So when I look at something like pound yen, again, this is my style of trading. I know everyone's got their own thing that they do. But for me, I look at these metrics: COT data, retail sentiment, seasonality, trend reading, GDP growth, inflation, unemployment, interest rates. These are the things we look at over and over on the streams. And when I look at this stuff, again, I'm looking for some sort of confluence among all the indicators I pay attention to. So currently, we get no serious confluence there on GJ. Now, guys, we're going to turn our attention. We're going to bring in the one and only Eivind and say hello to him. Eivind, how are you, sir?
I'm doing very well, and you?
Good to have you back on the show. Eivind, if you guys are not familiar, he is one of our traders within our group on Discord. He does fantastic jobs, works with all the members, does coaching calls, all sorts of good stuff. And him and I have been doing analysis together weekly for quite some time now. It's been awesome. Eivind, what are you looking at today?
Oh, Jan Paris just ran away from me. Defeated. That's what I feel like today. That I sold euro on Friday. Sorry, at 106.20. Probably some stop loss 107, and I'm looking to sell again at 108. So
Okay.
that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm on that euro idea now, and I think that the yen has also beaten me up a little bit as well recently. So I took a couple losses on dollar yen, but it happens. It's part of the game, and I was surprised by how strong the yen got suddenly. Where do you think all this strength came from?
SVB.
And that would make sense, right? For those who don't know about that, what's the premise behind that?
It is the 16th biggest bank. It is a very big bank in Silicon Valley that is helped a lot of startups. They defaulted over the weekend, as far as I know. And that's his third bank going down now. And it calls for, is the banking system trustworthy? Risk sentiment decreasing.
Right, exactly. And causing a lot of fear there across several markets. I mean, the indices selling off dramatically, and don't even get me started on banking stocks getting really hammered. So it's crazy to watch for sure. Yeah, I think that definitely has some impact on the markets. Do you think it has the room to be something bigger? Do you think it really kind of will be a driving new trend thing, or do you think it will blow over? What's your take on it?
I'm worried because I don't feel like we have a lot of crises right now in the banking industry or in the economy in itself. So I feel like they have either prematurely or they haven't really told that what their losses actually have been on their loans. And of course, stocks has been tech has been bad this year or recently or whatever you call it because of increasing of prices, increasing of financing cost, and they are heavily on debt. So yes, but we have been talking about who was that nowadays? City, were they under distress?
Yep.
City was under stress, and it's the one I can't remember right now that is linked to China that we have been talking about for quite some time. So are we about to? I hope not, because that's going to create a lot of issues. 2007, 2008.
Yeah, for sure. That's the creepiest one is the bank issues are like I feel like the market has long-term PTSD from that scenario. So it will be interesting to pay attention to. So what trade ideas are you looking at, Ivan? What charts are on your watch list going into this week?
Dollar strength would have been a great thing. That theme kind of ended with the brand new lower low. Aussie dollar to the downside would probably been a good thing, though it didn't react as much as euro did on Friday, surprisingly. So this one has, I would say, a greater potential to get back up to 106.67 level or 0.69 level. That is what I'm looking at right now that hasn't made a bullish trend so far, at least.
Yeah, and those pairs have gotten really hammered. Like the Australian dollar especially has really had a tough time. We had a donation in the chat. The Dow Jones Industrial Average opens up at 1330 UTC today, Friday. It was 1430. Why does that happen? And it was for all the country. It's because we had daylight savings time here in the United States, and that causes some change. I know that not the whole world doesn't do that sort of stuff, and I think that there's some things in Congress that are trying to get that stopped. But despite that, yes, it is 1 hour difference now. We had that happen over the weekend here for US people. But yeah, that's a good question. And thank you again for the donation, my friend. Appreciate that. Ivan, now I'm going to leave you to take over the show here for a little bit. Before I step out of the room, let me remind you guys to make sure to go check out Ivan's content. He's got his own channel. He does some great content over there. And you can also find Ivan within our Discord channel doing coaching webinars and all sorts of good stuff. So we're going to drop a link for his channel down below in the chat box for you there in case you'd like to try him out. Check him out. And with that said, Ivan, have a great stream, my friend. We'll see you back next time.
Thank you very much. And if anyone wants to know what my opinion about the streaming time is, it is as fun as a carousel. So yes, did I know about the daylight saving things, Roshi? No, I did not. We're all just wondering what are you guys doing over there? And probably Europe is probably also going to do some daylight saving next weekend, normally the third weekend in March. So that is that. Keeps things interesting. Keeps us alerted. We need to keep the alert button on so we make sure that we get alerted when we are supposed to be on. But nevertheless, okay. NFP was higher than expected. Dollar fell. So what happened? Well, first of all, what has happened is that we have now priced in 50 basis point rate hike going for the 22nd March meeting. Tomorrow we have the CPI of America, and on Thursday we have another event. I think it's supposed to be this week. Yeah, this week then we have ECB, that is the European Union monetary policy decision statement at around 13:15 my time. What does that mean for you? That means high volatility on euro dollar. That means higher euro dollar. And I've seen jumps now says euro yen. I have seen Willie says euro dollar. Yes, sir. Those are very affected currencies by that. Though we can go and check out euro dollar. Sorry, euro yen. Sorry, just as a reference. What is happening here? What happened here? Now, this guy called Nick doesn't do what I do, but I can tell you for free, we have already hit target for the week on a Monday. That means most time of the week that who was it? Oops, that was not supposed to be there. Okay, that means that Stefano was the first guy to jinx that in, and he said, "Ivan, can I be your personal market analyst in the Discord channel that you're supposed to be a part of?" And yeah, he caught it. I didn't. So, but nevertheless, if you're thinking about selling euro yen right now, don't do it. Don't do it whatsoever. Okay? Don't do it. Don't sell euro yen at this point. Why shouldn't you? Because it's hit target on the weekly. It's already down a lot, and we're not at resistance. Number 3, if we do make a lower low below 141.37, good. That's what we need. We need a continuation of trend lower. Now that it comes higher, it is only a risk to your trading account. Have you seen a sell on me saying anything about sell on euro yen this week? Nope. I have not mentioned anything in that direction. What do I mean? What? Okay. Let me tell you something very important here. When market falls hard, pullbacks. Why did it fall hard? SVB or increased risk. What does that mean? That means that short term we are pricing in new information. Is that information sustainable? Will this one fall further? No, maybe not, because we already hit target. Sellers are supposed to be out. If you now are like, well, I want to sell this, you're doing it on your own. You have no blessings from me, and I'm not giving any trading ideas. I'm not giving any advice, by the way, but you don't have my blessing and my will to sell. And if you come back to me and say, it's all that, okay, then that's up to you. Euro dollar. I was told earlier today, this morning, that we have made a higher high on the euro dollar. Okay. Then should we stop selling then? Are we dead? Are we done? Um we still have resistance and we still have resistance. So no, it is higher time frame or higher wave or whatever longer term moves is still bearish. That means that if you are a buyer, you are maybe looking to a buy now. Fine, fair enough. Like I can do that. But that also means that you need to be what? Very controlled into what you're thinking should be your next move. Do you buy in a breakout of a range? Do you buy 106.50 then? Do you buy the continuation? Such 100 pips up to next resistance. Is that a profitable place to be? No. But okay, that goes opportunistic. Don't lose your future happiness, your future, sorry, that's the wrong word. I'm trying to find a word off. Don't lose the eyesight of looking at an opportunity. Does euro dollar mean that we are our entire account? I've not seen lately that people lose account on these streams, so that is good because there's nothing to lose your account over other than looking for euro dollar coming up to 108, maybe a reversal, or it goes up to 109 and then you look for a reversal and then lower. I've also seen that earlier this morning that we have gone down to 105, going down to 25 basis point rate hike instead of 50. That should have been euro dollar weakness, but hey, that is not currently happening. Mr. Haybear said, "What about pound dollar?" If those who has been with me for a couple of days and a couple of weeks, I have said this is not a pair to trade because it's a range. You had a breakout, and why am I right all the time? Why do I even keep being right? I said that breakout is not sustainable. I said if that is true, make a lower low, continuation lower, and take it down there. That is the only thing you're allowed to do. But now that it's no longer there and it's higher, almost making a higher high, only solidifying my opinion about break out of range is the worst place for you to trade. It is not sustainable over time to do so. It is not what you're supposed to be focusing on. And if you're a buyer, it almost looks like a buying opportunity out of thin air. But if you look at this one over time, it is great. It is beautifully how much that is. Though, buying opportunity. Though, I don't buy there. Why do I even not buy there? Why am I not aggressively buying a market I believe should go higher? You should be trading plans that is high probability. A buy here is not high probability, but a sell here is even less probable. Okay. You don't need to break the bank to sell here. You don't need to be in that kind of environment because it's not profitable. And I tell you it's not profitable, well, go back and check. There is nothing worse than I know than having a breakout of out of range, brand new lower low. It comes back up again, sells down again, just for the whole thing to go back up again. I'm just trying to keep you out of situations that you should not be in, that is not profitable over time. But we can go through another one just to have that rabbit hole tightly squeezed together, okay? When did pound dollar do so? Ska vi se. I think this is this one, where it did have a range, does go lower. I guess you can probably sell that, probably some pips in that one. But after overall, it does come back up again. Okay, fair enough. Maybe you need another one, and you're thinking, this is great, Ivan. Huh? Another one is here. You're thinking this is a great range. What if it just, does the breakout? Here's the breakout. Let's buy the pullback. Oh, it went all the way down again. Here is 117 pips. I can survive that, but it went in my direction after all when I bought here. Hmm. I don't like it at all. The randomness in the breakout of a range is so much that retail traders use it. I'm not interested in that. Okay, cool. That is pound. That's my rant on pound dollar. That means still hold your horses. It is not available yet for us to over time look for a trade. But if it comes up to 123, the chimney is gonna have a different sound. The pipe is gonna have a different sound because I will be more likely to do that. That would be great. I don't know if that's going to happen, but at least there's a way better price than 120, 120, 119.50. Okay, cool, good. New Zealand dollar. Okay, seems like I made some trade plans here. That one is aggressive. That is a bit less aggressive. That is even less aggressive. And I seem to be wrong about all of those. I have not sold this one here, so don't shoot me yet. Even though you can probably prepare and say, Ivan, you always lose money. Okay, cool. Then that was opportunities I never took and I never lost anything. But okay. What do we do here in what 162.80 level? Okay. Do we look for reversal? Do we look for trend continuation? What do we look for? Depends if you are a buyer or seller. As a dollar buyer, I'm thinking those two levels are probably great levels to look for a seller. So if I don't get the sell there, then don't lose money. Then I did what I'm supposed to do as a professional trader. I am supposed to take the best trades with the best possibilities at the best levels, and I disregard anything else. All right. Mrs. Walker comes in and says, "What about the USD CAD? That was the next thing on my list." And if somebody remembers Friday, right? That was the wrong one. If somebody remembers Friday, what did we say on Friday? Does anybody remember Friday? Target hit on USD CAD monthly. Maybe you don't care about that. That's all fine. That's okay. Payer points is rubbish anyways, isn't it? It only that the market does respect them. Market is down. Market is down from that price. Meaning you can actually look for a sell here. Technically, you can. Meaning that any bullish bias, which we have, dollar wood strength, CAD weakness, you have to wait. Okay, please wait for the market to do a deeper pullback. I'm not too sure how far, but maybe 135.50 or 135 down in these levels are probably a better opportunity and a better place. It doesn't need to go down there, but what I'm telling you, a deeper pullback is definitely a better thing than to buy here and be wrong, left, right, and center. What is that based upon? Okay, let's go back to what I have as normally in the past. Excuse me, if I can get back on auto. Okay, cool. So we have peaks. We peaked here, made a new lower low, came back down. What? 200 pips, give or take. Can your stop loss survive that? We do make a higher high, but we eventually do go lower. We have a peak here that went a bit too high. Let's see if I can make that a bit 12. That one definitely peaked above the target, comes back down again. I would say a reasonable place to look for a reversal is down to center pivot again, but it just went past there. We have another target getting hit here, comes almost all the way down to target. Hits almost target here, comes all the way down to target. I'm not saying that pivot points are perfect and that that's what you should do, but I'm saying when we try to stretch for targets on the month, we have very deep pullbacks. USDCHF on Edgefinder has a +8. Okay, so I can see the ball being thrown at me. That's all right. I can go and check that one. USDCHF has a score of 8. Inflation is -1, employment is 1, divergent interest rate divergence is 1. Okay, fair enough. CO data is 2, retail sentiment is 1. Okay. My comment there is Edgefinder is an indication. My comment there is that do technical analysis as well. Siskelo says pivot points not rubbish. Sarcasm was added a bit of there at least, meaning that though we have a score of positiveness 8, great by the way, by great score by the way, but you still need to do your due diligence on the current market. I am still bullish on USDCHF. I'm not going to go anywhere. But I'm saying once we hit target on my trading style that I add on top of this, and I say, hey, what about we hit target very early? What about us having a deeper pullback because buyer left the buildings? Though this is the reason why we had a USDCHF +8 going up. Now we need to tell ourselves technically, or big pivot points, and we say the monthly target has been hit. Let us go somewhere else. Okay? That's good. Marais says, what about cat Swissy? I saw another ask about was it cat Swissy as well? There was New Zealand Swissy. Okay. I will do so, but I just need to do Aussie Yen first because who? Thabo asked about that. Okay. Straightforward, bro. Don't do anything. There's nothing to do here. It's gone. Target on the week is gone. Sorry, it's been hit. Sorry. And target on monthly has also been hit. Meaning this can go either way, deep and high, doesn't matter. It can go whatever it wants to go. This one is done and dusted because now the possibility that we are trading is, in my eyes, okay, it can fall further. Fine. But where's the pullback going to be to? Just because something fell doesn't mean it would continue to fall forever. Is this a buying opportunity? No, because we're still bearish. So, as a trader, as a professional trader, as a balanced trader, this is a market that I can trade because we have gone too far too fast. What does that normally lead to? Anyone remember the banana trade? The banana trade. Yes, banana trade. Whenever the monkey or the human or whoever's going to reach for the banana, reach as far and high as you can. What happens when you get the banana? You get back. It's also the same thing as string. You are not supposed to be trading overextended markets, which this is. Okay? Choose your market condition, choose whatever choose right, left, and center. Okay, cool. Now, should you have sold up here? Was this 92 level a great place to sell? versus should you have sold it in February? Should you have sold it in January? We all hit those levels. Now that comes down to what is your strategy? What do you want to see? I would say 92 wasn't a great entry. But what about when we made a new lower low, came back up to 91.64? I'm just telling you. It might be sorry. That was a great entry. Did I take it? No. Did I am I angry about that? Yes. Do I beat myself up for that? Yes. Should I have done it? Yes. Is it because of this fall? No. It's because that's what my job was supposed to be. But okay. There is that. Okay. Now we could probably be millionaire on that account anyways, anywho. But yeah, okay. Cat Swayze is not my expertise. And it doesn't really matter what I say here. I don't have profitability on Cat Swayze this year. And should I advise you on Cat Swayze? Technically, maybe. Trading wise, maybe. So what is our fundamentals? What is the fundamentals on Cat Swayze? Does anybody know that? Does anybody know the fundamentals on Cat Swayze? What is the stand on Bank of Canada? Bank of Canada is supposed to have peaked interest rates. Swayze, how are they supposed to be? Are they still rising, still increasing somehow? So there is a diversion to the downside here. Seasonality wise, we were supposed to go higher. Well, that didn't work out. Fine, whatever. And we have now squeezed, or we have fallen way more than the monthly targets. Fine. What are we supposed to be doing here in this situation? Are we supposed to continue selling? Are we looking for a buy? Just asking. So my professional opinion here, there's nothing here to do until we are in a better position trading wise. I would rather want to trade this kind of market technically on Cat Swayze more than what we currently have, which is a race to the bottom, and you don't know where the bottom is. We had traders doing that. Was it last year or so? Was that probably not on Cat Swayze? That was on in the pound pairs. Was he pound Aussie maybe? There was one that was just falling and falling and falling. Here, yeah, here it fell hard, and then people started selling down here and lost miserably. Angelo says and gives the stream $5 and said, Ivan is the best mentor I've ever had. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Angelo. It is a pleasure to working with you and making you a profitable and a professional trader. He is due though my disclaimer is he's my student. So he has first-hand experience on how it is to work underneath me. So thank you very much, Angelo. Thank you very much. Brandon says I caught 170 pips on the USD yen drop. Now I'm waiting for a pullback to or retest for the next play. Though congratulations, I have no problem with congratulating anyone who did better than me on this one. But I would say this is the place to sell from. This is the place to buy from. Where are we currently? We're currently in the middle. So enjoy your profits, run to the bank, laugh all the way to the bank, and reinvest your profits. Take some out, do whatever you want. Be clever about them so that we can trade together for the next 20 years. And by the way, I have no problem of calling out people who do well. And sure, there is not an issue there whatsoever because what are we doing? We are here to trade. Pound yen fell hard this morning. And I've seen somebody asking for it early in the stream. I'm like, hey, what about pound yen? Can we sell it now? Can we sell it? Breathe. Should we have sold it on Friday? Should we have sold it on Friday? Yes, we should have. Should we have sold it this morning? Yes, we should have. Another account of shoulda, woulda, coulda, I would have been a millionaire. And I can't do it because I just laugh. And we're going back up again. And if you sold this, bad boy this morning and you didn't take the profit, I'm sorry, bro, but you're holding on to into air, because this one fell because of increased risk. And what is currently happening? The risk is going away because they're getting saved left, right, and center. I know what Biden has said, but that is definitely an important thing. And I've seen that HSBC is going to save the UK version of it, meaning whatever we had as a risk event over the weekend might now be gone. Okay? Meaning that whatever was present that made this one fall is now maybe gone. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay. Forex. And I want to see what this dude wants to say. Ska vi se. Golden bitcoins on fire. Hasn't Biden talked yet? He was supposed to be talking. That's what I'm looking for it on the news. But regardless, market is now pricing a 60% chance that ECB is going to hike 25 basis points on Thursday. Previously 50 points, by the way. And this will be the first test for central bank to resolve the market. Thinks that there is compelling reasons that it take it slower if the banking picture clears, and that inflation should be lower for the future. That is a whole lot of assumptions. Okay, that is a whole lot of assumptions. But regardless, pound yen is a dead fish in the pond. And if you're thinking you should sell it at 161.50, good luck, mate. Good luck. I'm not going to sell it there. Why? Because we hit two targets this now, and this one is a strong move, meaning when we hit target early, this is going to come back all the way back up again. And I believe you not. If 163 hits, I will not be shocked whatsoever. Karunada. No, I ignored your pair. Okay. That's a very interesting acquisition. Do you know what it's called? It's called stream management. I decide whenever I go through whatever goes through my head, that's when I do things. I did Cat Swizzy because people asked for it. Though I went back to something that everyone want, that more people asked for. Okay, so now you asked for it. Okay. Doesn't mean I ignored. It means that I found it more suitable for everyone to go through other pairs. That's what it means. It means that you're in the line of something. It doesn't mean that I've ignored you. It means that it's about to come. And if you mention it again, fine. I might be remembered to do so later. Okay. New Zealand Swizzy. What is there to do? Same situation. Too low to sell. Maybe come up to 150.57, maybe 57.40. Nothing else than that. Okay? Are you done? Are you satisfied? Take profit at 55.60. I'm done. Cool. Just because you request a pair doesn't mean that you are it's a human right to that it will be happening in that millisecond. Okay. There's also this dude. What is he called? There's another dude earlier that asked for gold. I can't remember what his name was, but he asked for gold as well. Have I ignored him too? No, I haven't. I had it in my brain, you know? I'm a clever guy, at least sometimes. But speaking of gold, what did I say about gold? Yeah. Boom, yeah. What did I say about gold on Friday? And am I right? Am I right? Am I right that I said look for sales around 1860 on Friday? Look for a reversal around there? And I was completely wrong. Oh my Lord, have mercy. How could I be wrong? You should never listen to me. And I lost $1 million on it. No damage was done. Fine. Take your profits. Run with it. Gold is fantastic. Do you know what else I said on Friday? I said once gold has a direction, it really goes. And so it did. Am I angry about that? No. Should we have made money on it? Should we be better traders than that? Thank you, John. I have no good experience with Roger Banks, so I don't want to be compared to him. So, but yeah, thank you. If I can be in the positive light, then I'm good with it. So the thing about gold, more news came in after the NFP that was not that was risk adjusting, market to risk adjust that. Market went higher, gold went higher. Should we have bought it on Friday? I was done and dusted. Why did I go on Friday? I traveled. Sorry, I was done on the stream. Did I watch the market? No, I didn't. Should I? Maybe. Should I bought it? Maybe. It still goes into should have, would have, could have. And if I do that on gold, I'm gonna be a millionaire too. So I'll just take into consideration the current market that we currently have, which is very strong gold. And until the SVB banking crisis things stops making gold go higher, it will go down again. And until then, I have no business to do here. And just because I'm wrong about the market, doesn't mean I'm going to be wrong forever. So I didn't listen to money here. So good. And my analysis, it is coming back up to resistance now. And if this holds, then we'll look for a reversal. We'll do the same thing as always. Nothing changed. Okay? That is that. And then if I'm going to point, what do you call those things? Arrows to the bottom forever on gold, and I'm going to be right 20% of the time, and I don't take trades on the 80% of it, I'll still be profitable. Okay? Cool. Enjoy. Altaf FX. Sorry. Altaf says, Eivindfx. NASDAQ. Your view. Okay. Burn is what I hear. Not because of the banks, because of higher interest rate. Too high inflation. We're going to be CPI tomorrow. NFP is too high. GDP is too high. What else was it? PMIs was too high. Everything is too high. That means higher interest rate. That means even worse performance of technology companies in Silicon Valley and across America and the United States of America. So, what are we going to do here? Are we going to sell it? Are we going to buy it? Are you going to do like Nick, who's going to buy forever until, whatever? Or are you going to do something like I do? I don't trade it. But the overall trend, the overall macro is down. So, does that mean that you come in here and you say, hey, maybe sell it? That's up to you. But what I'm telling you is going to be more and more difficult for technology companies in the United States of America to make profits. Make your own decisions. If that is down, then that is down. If that is up, or you wait until they do start making profits again, sure do. But yeah, currently technically bearish. So that is that. And I was a bit wrong about those arrows there. Was is a good sell? This was a good sell. Is this a good sell? Well, need of a bit of a something like that. Okay. Yes, sir. That is my view. Bearishness. Though technically, price action wise, we either need to make a no low or come back up here so you can sell that again. Those are two options, 1 and 2. Pound New Zealand, I'm thinking long. Okay. If you have any other pairs you want me to cover, that would be lovely and noticeable. I will go through what I'm looking for this week, and then we're gonna take it there. You said Pound New Zealand. I'm gonna Google what that is. Let's see, that is that one. Cool. Who asked for that, brother? Jerome Clark. I have one advice for you, brother. It is okay. Sorry, take away that one. Sorry. I have one professional thought through advice for you here. I would never, ever put my money on Pound New Zealand. The end. I hope you never trade Pound New Zealand with these kind of market conditions. That's all. It's range. It is not trending. This is not a market. Yes, we have highs of 97. Could bring that down to 94. It's too random for me to make any technical good decision that is in either direction going forward. On these markets is what I hate the most. I do apologize for that, but thoughts is non-existent. I do apologize for that. Pound dollar, and can look at Swiss yen. Okay, so Swissy yen is there. Bullishish. Very reluctant to be bullishish. But it seems like both Swissy and yen is strong. So I would probably run far away from this one. Pound dollar, it is a non-tradable at this point. Euro, New Zealand. It's what I'm looking for to sell to 108. I'm looking for sell at 109. Doesn't mean that I will sell it. I'm just looking for a reversal up there. At Aussie dollar, I'm looking for 67 or 69 reversal and then sell it. And then New Zealand dollar, I'm looking for 62.80, 64 reversal, then sell it. And if that doesn't work out, fine. USD CAD would have been a bullish one, but it's not bullish. It is going to fall a bit more. So if you want to sell it, that's totally up to you. I'm not going to do it myself. I would love to have traded yen pairs, but they are currently having a deep pullback, and I am not interested in it because the volatility, the levels doesn't feel right. It is too aggressive going down. The pullbacks are aggressive coming back up again, meaning it's a no-go zone for me because it is too volatile. It is not greatly just trending lower. It is going up and down, and therefore that makes me too high risk for me to trade within the parameters that I do have. A la carte says, what do you think about SVB? It is definitely affecting the markets, definitely affecting dollar, definitely affecting gold, definitely affecting yen, definitely affecting oil. Until that is resolved, until there is a possible solution, market is going to increase, and when there is a solution, the market is going to pull back again 100% of the move that it made. So yeah, I just did euro dollar. It is making a higher high, meaning that is out for those trades that you have currently on, and then you just wait for 108, 109 to sell those again. Reversals, how does reversal look like? I would like to see where is it? Where's the reversal I want to see? Why doesn't it normally just give me these reversals? discount reversal where we have a double top, lower low, lower high, I will take that and I will sell it again here. Those are currently the ones that I want to sell. Again, double top ish, lower low, sell, and then new one, sell. Those are the ones that I'm currently looking at. And if I don't get it, I'm not going to trade it. Precious Z says NASDAQ, downside. And what levels, you might ask? It already hit target, so it's already gone. But maybe back up to 1205, 1220, something to the downside, meaning because we do make a lower low until we have a higher high, we are bearish, and fundamentally or psychologically it is bearish until SVB has been resolved and there is no longer a crisis. There's no longer market thinking that we will have a possible banking crisis on our hands. Okay, I salute you. Boom. I hope you have tons of profits. I love your family, and I see you soon.
Thanks again for watching today's show. Our goal at A1 Trading is to continue to share free value to our audience through daily videos and articles, keeping you up to date with the latest market coverage. If you enjoy our content, make sure to subscribe for more. And remember, if you open a $1,000 or more trading account with 8cap, you'll receive a free copy of the Edge Finder. Click the link in the description below to find out more. From all of us at A1 Trading, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.